This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. We got our own winner here. It's Erica Cobb. She's back, everybody.
Thank you.
We missed you so much. We're so glad to see you. We're going to get into everything because everyone's asking. As you know, we're in the middle of an award season, which Erica was a part of at the NAACP, but we're going to get to that. But last night was the Screen Actors Guild Award, the sci-fi comedy Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, my favorite of the year, cleaned up, taking home 3 of the 4 individual acting awards, as well as outstanding performance by a cast. Michelle Yeoh won Female Actor in a Leading Role. It's the first time an Asian actress has ever won that award. Her co-star, Kiwi Kwan, also made history by becoming the first Asian male to win Best Male Performance in a Supporting Role. He got really emotional about it. Take a look.
When I stepped away from acting, it was because there were so few opportunities. And now, tonight, here we are, celebrating James Hong, Michelle Yeoh, Stephanie Hsu, Hong Chow, Harry Shum Jr. The landscape looks so different now than before. So thank you so much to all of you in this room and everyone who contributed to these changes.
And Jamie Lee Curtis took home the Best Female Performance in a Supporting Role. In her acceptance speech, she joked about being a Nepo baby. Take a look.
And I know you look at me and think, well, Nepo baby, that's why she's there, and I totally get it. But the truth of the matter is I'm 64 years old, and this is just amazing.
White Lotus also took home a bunch of awards, including Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series. And Jennifer Coolidge won for Best Female in a Drama Series. Finally, Brendan Fraser took home the Best Actor Award for his role in The Whale. Take a look at this.
Never would have believed that I would have been offered the role of my life in this character, Charlie, in The Whale. He's someone who is on a raft of regrets, but he's in a sea of hope, and I've been at that sea, and I've rode that wave lately, and it's been powerful and good, and I've also had that wave smash me right down to the ocean floor. If you just stay in there and you put one foot in front of the other, you'll get to where you need to go.
So trust the process. I think it's so interesting, guys. Almost everyone who won was over 50. And it was a lot of comebacks. The Brendan Fraser comeback. I mean, you've got 78-year-old Sam Elliott. Jessica Chastain is the only one at 45, other than Jeremy Allen White from The Bear, who is even below 50. What do you guys think about the older actors and actors making a run for it?
Oh, please.
No, I think that when we're talking about how life works and how long this life can be if we're lucky, I think that we are looking forward to our next chapter. And when we are promoting this, like, basically fallacy of youth is where it all ends, then people aren't as motivated by that. And the truth is, outside of aesthetic images like what we're seeing in media, most people are doing their very best older in life, and that needs to be represented in our aesthetic images as well in media. So I think we're just seeing that now.
We're appreciating that more. What do you think, Al? That's a good point, Erica.
We have such a strange society that we've set up where we say, okay, look at all the young folks in this room right now. You're starting your career at DBL. Who knows where they'll be in 20 years? They'll have accumulated all this knowledge about live television, how this works, how we throw to the field and come back. And then when they have accumulated all that knowledge, they're considered too old, and we throw that knowledge away and start all over again. To me, it makes perfect sense that people in their 50s and 60s are really good at their job because they've done it more than anybody else on the planet.
Right.
So maybe we're doing ourselves a disservice by saying, if you're not a young, beautiful, pretty face, we have nothing to do with you. I think when we look at these actors, they're channeling telling things that have happened in their real lives. Because when you're 50, you've gone through heartbreak. You've lost somebody you loved. You've been down. And that's where I think we heard that from Brendan Fraser's speech. So I think that, like I said, we do ourselves a disservice by just acting like after 39 years old, you need to start lying about your age or you're done in this business, or any business for that matter, Jeff.
I love that.
Yeah, I just think it's special to the actors, the Screen Actor Guild Awards. There's too many awards, in my opinion. But this one, everyone goes to Hollywood a dream, right? And the first step of that dream is getting your SAG card, right?
Yeah.
So it means you're a part of this, you know, the Actors Screen Actor Guild Union, and you actually get to vote on who wins these awards. I have not paid my dues since my last movie, so I did not vote.
Don't say that on my TV.
Well, come get me, man. You don't do anything to support me in my hosting career.
Hey, you got to do an acting. Screeners.
Yeah, I don't even get the screeners because I didn't pay. Yeah. I didn't pay my dues. I'm not gonna. But I think it means a little bit more to these actors because they all started. Everyone has a dream, and then they just excelled at what they've done and got to that point. So I think it means a little bit more to them specifically.
I think you're right. Brendan Fraser even said, "I got my SAG card in '91, and if you told me then I'd be standing here winning a SAG award, I would never believe it." So I agree. I got mine by getting shot in the boob on CSI Miami.
You told us about that. That's cool.
Really proud of that.
Congrats.
All right, let's move on to the NAACP Image Awards. They were also held over the weekend. Angela Bassett was the big winner of the night. She was named Entertainer of the Year and took home an acting trophy for the TV show 911.
Boy, she's falling apart.
She looks terrible, right? Her movie Black Panther: Wakanda Forever also won Best Motion Picture. Viola Davis won for her role in The Woman King, and Will Smith won Outstanding Actor for Emancipation. This is his first award win since the Oscars slap, but he was not there in person. WNBA star Brittany Griner and her wife received an emotional standing ovation. She thanked everyone and said she would keep fighting to bring every American detained overseas home. And of course, you know, just a little bit of a flex. Our very own Erica Cobb walked the red carpet with her on Friday with her dad, Roosevelt, who I'm sure you all know you look fabulous. But on Saturday, this is my favorite. Look at this. She stunned wearing this beautiful pink gown. Tell us everything.
There's a backstory with that gown too that's so cool.
Yeah. So this weekend was surreal. I walked amongst like giants in the industry, and I felt like this was really, for me, like, this is my comeback story. You know, like, I was in a position where I thought everything was just really over for me. Like, I felt like I would walk down the street and I would dissipate and no one would ever know that I was here. And for this to be, for my podcast, Come Back with Erica Cobb, and for me to get nominated in this way, although I didn't win, congratulations to, there's this guy, I think his name is LeVar Burton. I don't know if you've ever
Nobody knows that guy.
He took home the trophy, and I can't even be mad,
No,
right?
you can't.
But yeah, I mean, it just
LeVar.
You're reading Rainbow.
Yeah. It's like, he only taught like how to read. But yeah, I'm so appreciative of this experience and this moment, and it's to the dress. It was designed by Sir Algernon, the pink dress, and he was someone who reached out to me during the pandemic and just said, "I've been watching you on DBL."
He reached out to you?
Yeah, and he's like, "I've been watching on DBL. I'd love to do something with you." And then we started losing people to COVID, and we really kind of connected that way. And I said, "When it's time, it's time." And when I got the nomination, he said, "Now's the time." And it was just such a beautiful comeback story. So I'm just completely humbled. Thank you to all of you here at DBL. Thank you to my whole team. My team is huge. I didn't even realize. My family who came out, everyone who voted, y'all have been so supportive, sending me messages and all of that. So I just appreciate it so much. And I think I'm going to have a comeback next year. How about that?
Unbelievable. And just so you guys know, it wasn't just us that thought she was well-dressed. You've been made on all the lists at the NAACP. Is that right, for Best Dress?
Yes. So congratulations to Sir Algernon for his design, because that's the 3rd year in a row that he's made Best Dressed. It was Tabitha Brown, Yvette Nicole Brown, and now Erica Cobb.
You did it. You did it.
I did.
Erica, I told you before you left, I was like, no matter what happens there, you already won, champ. I mean, from where you came from to where you are now, you manifesting your dreams, writing them down, and just step by step getting it. You earned that. Nobody gave that to you, and I hope you take a second and reflect on what you did, because it's really something admirable, and I look up to you, and I'm honored to be sitting next to you.
Thank you.
Hey,
You
man,
did it, man.
Well
That's
said.
amazing.
That's well said.
Amazing.
I cross-stitched a pillow this after this
Yeah,
weekend.
I opened up the hot tub this weekend.
Hey, coming up on DBL, he got his start on American Idol, and now he's releasing solo albums. Adam Lambert is telling us all about this amazingly cool latest project. And speaking of Idol, Katy Perry got really emotional last night on the latest season. Find out why she was brought to tears after a contestant's audition. Stay tuned with us. Our viewers are talking about DBL.
Yes!
I like that.
Leaves me speechless and like blushing. Thank you, thank you.
That's emotional.
Do I want to sit there and watch them? Yes, I do.
All right, I gotta ask you, Erica, because like when you hit we'll wait for Tori. What are you doing?
I'm
down
sorry.
there?
I went to go find something in the trash and left it.
Putting the table together from the bottom up.
I'm sorry. I was looking for something in the trash.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, Erica, what do you build and you build and you build for years to get to this weekend, and
With
then
your
after the
dad,
weekend, like,
too.
do you take it all in? Are you now resetting your goals?
Yeah, how are you
like,
processing?
Like, because you reached a milestone, and no one kind of knows what to do after that.
Yeah, I actually feel more clear on what to do next. I never thought about, when I was doing the podcast, or I'm here, every day, like, what does that mean? And now there's like levels to this, And what stood out to me the most about this weekend is when I thought I was down and out and I would never come back, I would always think, like, why are these things not happening for me? Like, I'm so passionate about what I do in like radio or television or podcasting. Why is this not coming together to be a bigger picture? And what I realized this weekend is that I have never been more prepared for it to be a big picture situation than I am right now. Like, we worked from the time that we got there to the time that we left. My team, like, I had 12 people in town. Like, there was no way that I could have done that week without 12 people there. That's a lot of people, and everybody was like working around the clock to make sure that everything ran smoothly. For me, like, that's just something that, like, it took that long. It took 42 years or whatever to make that happen, and now we're here so we can figure out what happens next.
Take your time. You earned a couple
Thank
weeks
you.
to figure it out. That's so.
Welcome back to DBL. Who's watching American Idol? Yeah. Okay, cool. It's in full swing, and last night, 21-year-old Trey Lewis wowed the judges with his performance, but it was his story that got the biggest reaction. Trey survived his school shooting in Santa Fe, Texas in 2018 that saw 8 students and 2 teachers killed. Katy Perry could not contain her emotion. She held her head in her hands before going on an expletive-filled rant. Let's take a look.
Our country has failed us.
Facts.
This is not okay. You should be singing here because you love music. I hope that you remind people that we have to change. Because, you know what, I'm scared too.
So I just looked up with Emily, our fact checker. She has a 2-year-old, Daisy, with Orlando Bloom. But I think everyone is allowed to be fearful. What was your reaction to that, Jeff?
You know, I love American Idol, and I haven't started watching this season. It's on my DVR. You still call it a DVR? But
Your TiVo.
it's whatever it is. But it's all about the stories in the beginning. It's not even so much about the singing anymore. It's how much they could sing with their stories, right? It's a show. You got to produce it, and we know more than anybody. Moments like this come up. You don't know how a particular story is going to hit you until you're in it. And I'm sure Katy Perry didn't know, and so people would be like, "Well, she might be putting it on a little bit." Or maybe she's just concerned for her child, like you said. So you never know how different stories are going to hit you, and I think that's what grabs American Idol, I mean, is because you never know how those stories are going to impact someone just watching at home.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that school shootings have come into American Idol. It's become so American to shoot.
No, those kids
that
are grown up now.
That now we can't avoid it in the most fun family pop culture American baseball, American pie thing, apple pie, and now shooting is part of that.
Yeah, I mean, well, we had it with Michigan State a couple weeks ago. I don't even know if we covered that. That's how many shootings we have. But there was a student at Michigan State that was in Sandy Hook.
That's right.
So now we're having people that are in multiple school shootings. So I think it's fascinating that people wonder if she's putting on a face. I think that we all walk around, especially as adults, with shame. I am embarrassed. I feel like we let this generation down. I feel like we did nothing. I felt powerless to do anything. I would hope our politicians would do something. They clearly aren't. We've elected people like Marjorie Taylor Greene who have openly harassed people like David Hogg. So what are we telling the kids? I mean, it is the badge of shame of our generation. I think we'll walk with.
Erica, what do you think about that with the badge of shame? I kind of hadn't thought about that.
I think that this is a conversation that we have far too often.
Yeah.
And if there isn't strong regret for what these kids, what all of us ultimately have to think about and go through, but specifically the kids.
Wow.
What else?
What else can you say? I know. We are talking about it here, coming up on DBL. Speaking of American Idol, former contestant Adam Lambert tells us all about his new music. It's covers, it looks amazing, and it's coming up next.
According to the American Cancer Society, cancer is the second most common cause of death in the U.S. after heart disease. And it seems like people younger and younger are getting diagnosed with cancer. So the question, are more individuals under the age of 50 being diagnosed with cancer? Let's verify. Our source is a study by research at Brigham and Women's Hospital, the CDC, and Dr. Sunil Kamath, medical oncologist with the Cleveland Clinic. A study by researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital looked at 14 different types of cancers. They found starting in 1990, people under the age of 50 were being diagnosed with cancer more than ever before. It's a trend that has continued over the past several decades. Kamath says this is a trend he's picked up on as well.
We see in clinic all the time. I think, when I look at my clinic schedule and I see who's coming in and I just kind of scan through, the ages on the list. That number has definitely been, 15, 20 years younger than it was in the past.
The study found many factors can contribute to why more younger people are getting cancer. One may be because people are getting screened at a younger age. Researchers found lifestyle and obesity can also be a cause. According to the CDC, obesity rates have climbed over the last 60 years. In the 1960s, fewer than 14% of individuals had a body mass index of over 30, which is the threshold for obesity. In 2020, those figures were closer to 40%. So we can verify that, yes, more individuals under the age of 50 are being diagnosed with cancer. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Cool. Welcome back. Adam Lambert continues to break barriers in art, music, and human rights ever since capturing our hearts on American Idol. When he's not out touring with Queen, you can find him releasing incredible solo albums like High Drama, which is out now. Earlier, we spoke with him about this new chapter. Take a look.
Please welcome back to the show Grammy-nominated international superstar Adam Lambert.
Wow. Hi. That was quite the introduction, and well-deserved, my friend, well-deserved. So let's get right to it. Your new album, High Drama, just came out, and it's all full of covers. How do you pick what covers go on?
It was a process. We had a long list, and just slowly started whittling it down. The criteria was, is it something that I can relate to for my life? And is it a song that I can take and completely flip on its side? I think people have responded really positively to the stuff that I've done where I've changed songs, like Believe by Cher for the Kennedy Center honors, or some of the stuff I've did on Idol. So yeah, it just seemed like a good challenge. I'm still working on solo music. There's more coming, but this was just something I wanted to put together and get out really quickly for fans.
I love it. I've always loved when you change songs.
It's very American Idol-ish, if I may. Those are the people that
genre bending,
shoot, right?
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. And you do it the best.
I'm really excited. I have a list of your tracks. That's not what you say. You call it a track list. Let's start from there. Holding Out for a Hero. I'm so excited for that one. Chandelier. I Can't Stand the Rain. Like, can you imagine hearing it Lambertized? You know what I mean? Very cool. Okay, quick question. You are currently writing a musical as well. What are some musicals, I'm a musical nerd, that have inspired you throughout your life to make you want to write your own? I'm a Les Mis, Hello Dolly type of girl.
I grew up in musical theater, so I've done a lot of different types of shows, but I think that the ones that I've always really loved are sort of the more, the rock musicals, the stuff like Jesus Christ Superstar or The Who's Tommy, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, stuff a bit more edgy, sort of
Sweeney Todd-ish.
Yeah, so I'm excited to reveal this musical. It's not time yet to tell you exactly what it is, but I will say that it takes place in the 1970s. It's based on a true story. It'll sort of highlight all the great musical styles from that era.
Now, you've said that High Drama kickstarts a new chapter for you. What is this new chapter out of Adam Lambert? I'm curious.
This was a different type of challenge. Getting in the studio and coming up with new arrangements was really exciting, and I worked with some amazing producers. I really wanted to kind of give the album sort of a rock backbone. There's a lot of references to different periods and styles of rock music that I love. Everything from more alternative electronic kind of rock to glam rock from the 70s to 80s rock, 90s. All of it.
You started Feel Something Foundation because you aren't doing enough, my friend, to support LGBTQ+ rights along with mental health and suicide prevention resources. How does it feel knowing you've really literally saved lives, and what is your purpose for your foundation?
If you're given an opportunity like I've been given, give back. It's like kind of a bummer. Yeah. So I wanted to form this foundation called the Feel Something Foundation. After having kind of done some moonlighting with different organizations over the years, just thought, let's take it up to the next level. I want to build funds for certain initiatives. I want to create awareness for certain organizations. And that's what we've been doing. And, like I said earlier, the LGBTQ+ community has moved so far ahead. We've come a long way. There's been an amazing amount of equality and acceptance and visibility. But there's still more to be done, and there are a lot of oppositions to the community right now in terms of us being just treated like equals. So I really think now more than ever is the time to sort of get involved and make some noise.
Good for you.
Well said.
I think that you only get to be that beautiful on the outside if you that beautiful on the inside. Because I can't stop staring at you like, dang,
His
it's just
eyes.
full through.
You're like a storm.
I had to stare at the prompter because if I made eye contact, I don't know what happened.
Beauty.
Adam, we love you as a singer, a person, and you are an activist.
Absolutely.
And thank God you are using your platform. We appreciate you. DBL Nation, you can check out Adam's new album, High Drama, out now on all streaming platforms. Adam Lambert, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
This week, social media got a little sticky when actor Ben Stein complained about changes to Aunt Jemima brand syrup and pancake mix on his Truth Social account.
Because of the inherent racism of Americans' corporate culture, they decided to make it a white person or maybe no person at all.
Referencing the 2021 rebrand that removed the character from the name and packaging, but sending Aunt Jemima trending. Responses to the video stirred up shares of an old myth that the actress who portrayed Aunt Jemima became one of America's first black millionaires. So let's verify. Did Nancy Green, the first woman to portray the Aunt Jemima character, really become a millionaire? We spoke to historian Karen Cox and looked at these sources and learned Nancy Green was a formerly enslaved black woman. Before the Aunt Jemima campaign, she was working as a housekeeper in Chicago. In 1893, the R.T. Davis Milling Company hired Green to appear as Aunt Jemima at the Chicago World's Fair, where she made pancakes for thousands of people, sharing stories of plantation life written by her white employers. Green continued to play the role for decades. So it's true that Green really was the first Aunt Jemima, but did she really become a wealthy superstar?
She was no millionaire.
Karen Cox has researched and written about Green and others in her book, Dreaming of Dixie.
She probably made a nominal fee for every time she, performed as Aunt Jemima, but the money that was being made was is the Quaker Oats Company that made the millions.
In 1910, Green listed her occupation as a housekeeper in a private residence, an unlikely job for a superstar millionaire. After her death in 1923, her obituaries also made no mention of any notable wealth. So we can verify, no, there's no evidence that Nancy Green became a millionaire from her work as Aunt Jemima. But there is evidence that the term Aunt Jemima is based on a Jim Crow era caricature of African American women, rooted in racist tropes, which is why Quaker Oats opted for the rebrand. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
In a now deleted tweet that had more than 2 million views, someone claimed their sister suffered a stroke after getting their neck adjusted by a chiropractor. So let's verify. Can cracking your neck cause a stroke? Our sources are the Spine and Sport Medical Center, Veritas Health, and Dr. Paul Yeva, a vascular neurologist at Yale School of Medicine. Cracking your neck requires a rapid movement to stretch the joints. This lets fluid in the joint spread out, creating gas bubbles that pop and make a cracking noise. Our sources warn in rare cases that rapid movement could also tear the arteries in your neck.
Is actually a rare cause of stroke. It probably represents only 2% of the cases, but then again, it may be underdiagnosed as we do not really, screen everybody who, traumatizes their neck.
But Yeva says any rapid neck movement, like sneezing or coughing, could also cause the same tears. So yes, cracking your neck could cause a stroke. It's just really rare. The Spine and Sport Medical Center says the day-to-day neck cracking you experience is probably safe. Just don't try to give yourself an adjustment by pulling or twisting your head with your hands. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. We all know exercise is important, but how much is enough to stay healthy and sharp as we get older? Well, it's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. So although working out 5 times a week is ideal, experts say that working out just once a month is even linked to better thinking and memory function as we age. It is never too late to start a fitness routine, and people who were more active when they were younger experience more cognitive benefits. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. So call 1-800-813-6801 or visit omegaxl.com for more info. Just some comments here. Steven says Katie just needs a hug. I think she needs more legislation.
Condescending.
Yeah, I think she needs more than that. Jessica says Erica looked fab on the carpet. So cool. And you were right behind
Angela Bassett.
I'm so quelling over you. DBL's new every day. We'll see you. Bye.